No, but this is our country. We must fight for it. The dictator fought for power. We must fight for it. And that's what we should preach to our people. Because at the end of the day, it's we who are suffering. I am a graduate from Makerere University. I have not benefited. My mother is growing old. I have not even taken care of her. I even feel like now what a woman that I was raised by a single mother. She spent all her time educating me so that I can help her. But I'm in a system whereby it's by design that indigenous Ugandans cannot benefit from it. This is by design that you will study, you'll go for a job interview somewhere, but because you don't have Gamba Nogu, you will not go through. These are realities on the ground. So if I am in that level and then I'm thinking, my mother who used to say, no, have hope, take time. She's growing old. She's going into 60s. She's in her 60s now. And I'm like, when will I take care of her? She's still thinking that, oh, under this system, things can be okay. They are not okay. I'm in my 30s now. How are we going to keep lambasting in the same cocoon, the same system Museveni has created for us? And then we tend to think that, oh, maybe let's go to the courts of law, that this thing is going to help us. I conclude by saying this, Comrade Joe, we must fight. We must awaken our people by telling them that it's high time. We fought for our country. We shouldn't shy away from that. Because even the first world countries that we admire, they fought for it. They did not just go on a negotiation and because they understood the times. This man is not going to give us victory on a silver platter. We must fight for it. This is how we must fight for it, by making sure that this is the same message we preach to our people. Other than us talking about this, then when we reach to the people, we are telling them, Nedda mugende mukoti. They've chased you off the land. Okay, let's go to the courts of law. You see, justice, that is now where we confuse our population. And at the end of the day, that's where sometimes when we want them to rise up, they do not rise up because there's that, we do not give them the right message. We tend to give them false narratives that under this same system, they can thrive, yet they cannot. We must have that radical message. The other day I had Isaac Semakad, and he was telling you that it's high time. It's going to be to the streets. If Isaac Semakad can reach that level, who is the president of Uganda Law Society, then it makes you that there's nothing, whether you're a professional or which lawyer that you think is going to make this system listen to you. We must fight for what we want. And in order for us to get that, we must align with that same message. Otherwise, the dictator is going to die. But his son and everything that is at play, he's going to take over. And while we are watching, we are thinking, we will overpower him through the same system. Oh, let's wait for 2031. You see, the MPs should swear, then we get a new leader of opposition, then we drive. And then what? And then what? The people in diaspora continue living in diaspora, thinking that there is more hope. And then the son also comes in, rides us for probably another 30 years, and the dynasty continues, and then we shy away from that, and then we think that we are going to get victory in a silver platter. Besigye is in jail, Alex Mfumbilezi are in jail, the comrades, the Yasin Machetes are in jail now, going for another Kisanja, and then we are tending to think that through the same system Museveni has created is what is going to liberate us. Today it will be you, tomorrow it will be me, because now they are going to pick everyone. So are we going to watch? No, we must get radical and fight for our country. That's the message we must, so that they get the message that they have no monopoly over people fight over for them to liberate our country, the way they call it, that we can also fight for our country, because they monopolized it and they made it look like it's them that are the ones supposed to do that. Why is it that for us we shy away from that? Why do we shy away and then tend to think that we can only operate under this system that Museveni has created for us? The legal fraternity, everyone is talking Article 1, Article 1. I started by saying that legal structures only operate because the political structures and decisions at play allow them to. So meaning power comes first, political power comes first, and then the legal fraternity. So the legal system we want to establish in Uganda that will work for everyone is not going to work if we do not fight to put in place that legal fraternity that we want to work for everybody. I beg to submit.
Thank you. Thank you for that very impassioned submission. And I see where you're coming from. Yes, it's true. This bill is an existential threat to all of us. And clearly, it speaks to the urgency of the matter. So, yeah, I think we are saying all options are on the table, and I think we have to do things differently in order to, to really address this problem, because it's bigger than just the bill. And we have to, get the elephant in the room. Robert, over to you, please. Thank you.
Yes. Thanks, Joe. Do you hear me okay?
Loud and clear, comrade. Thank you.
Yeah. So, yeah, that was a very elaborate and deep submission from Uji. So I think I'm of the same view, from a line of thinking that a lot has been said and done. We have people who are rotting in jail from the last Chisanja. Now we're piling up for another batch. So if we still continue to be compliant to, as Mr. Moji put it, on the constitution or the rules which have been set by the autocrat, then the chances that our brothers and sisters will see justice or daylight are pretty near to zero. So are we just going to be are we just going to be sitting on the sideline and just let this happen? No. And I'm still of the view that we need that kind of approach. It hasn't really necessarily warrant us to go militant, but I'm still puzzled for the numbers we had over the campaign, that in some way we failed to convert that into a massive uprising. Then there is something which we missed. The messages were very direct. No one can say that they didn't get the message, but probably there was something missing on wherever we traversed during the campaign, whereby people were they were not told what was at stake, and pretty much what would be done after the elections. Probably there was left to rhetoric like, okay, Turino Kabanja, but how were they really told, or how seriously was this message received, to the extent that these people knew that this is a dire situation? So I guess we need to work with ourselves as Ugandans, especially those ones on the ground, because it's really very unfair what is going on right now. Because you can't tell me that we just came out of the an elections, which you assume, you claim you won, and the first thing you could think of is get into a mode of passing bills and then doing a sort of drastic measures to disrupt the entire system, meaning like demolishing people's things. You would think that if someone came out of an elections, one thing would be setting the ground on how to govern for the next term. to see that everything really, he calms down the populace to be saying, yes, okay, we've just passed the elections, now we're going to go do this, and then you set your programs or your plans for the next 5 years, but not in the manner General Museveni has done that. So what we can, as Uganda, is pretty much find a place of saying no and try to stand on our ground. That I don't know whether General Museveni has the guts or the balls of shooting 100,000 Ugandans in the capital city. If they say that come what may, we're not leaving the city center unless we want our brothers and sisters who have been incarcerated to be probably that is even setting the bar low. We just want General Museveni to leave. That's it. A national uprising whereby we capture the entire city and say that, no, we're not going to take the sovereignty bill. No, we want all our brothers from way back in 2021 or even pre-2021 to come. So I don't know how difficult that can be to execute or probably pre-plan to do that. But I would think that there's a lot of at stake right now than just debating this sovereignty bill. This sovereignty bill is just like Dr. Nico said. I mean, this is. I mean, we didn't have the sovereignty. It's only this is the climax of the having been stripped of our citizenry. Only that now it's pretty much crystal clear. It's in our face. It has been there, but it's been subtle. Yeah. So, but now it is in broader light for everyone to see, whether we want it or not. So I think if you ask me, we should trigger what was what was pushed during the our election campaign. Now I'm shifting more to being on those who are on the NUP side of things, that we need to re-echo and trigger the win which our president Kyagulanyi won. What they used, what we called Kabanja. So if we did for the second time vote for this gentleman, it would be a shame for us. I mean, fool me twice, once or twice. My God, what are we being taken for? I mean, seriously, don't we have that much balls that we can really stand up for this guy, for rigging the election for the second time, and then we just relegate ourselves to playing second fiddle? Guys, I think we can do better than that. But again, it will take a lot of guts for all sorts of people from all walks of lives, whether you're DP, NRM, or whatever. This is not a new NUP thing. It's just by virtue that they won the elections with with our president, and they are at the forefront. So let's larry about the winning president, and maybe we can forget about the sovereignty bill. Over to you, Joe.
Thank you, Robert. I think you raised a very good point. What happened to the crowds, to the masses we had? There was a lot of momentum, and then, of course, the disappointment after rigging the elections. But here's the thing. I think, yes, at the time, the message was different. It was about elections. It was about victory. I think the people are the people are still there, and I think we can still tap into that energy. I think now the message needs to be redirected, to kind of to be recrafted to address the issue. And I think we've just seen people understanding exactly what's going on. They've lived with it. The recent demolitions of their properties. And now again is coming. This is personal, ladies and gentlemen. This bill is going to be personal to everybody, because many people have been earning some, I mean, they were getting support from people in the diaspora. Now it's getting very personal. So we need to kind of make them internalize what exactly is happening. And this is through mobilizing. And I think we have the time, each one of us reach out, speak to your people, speak to your community, speak to the people on the ground. People need to understand what exactly is happening and what needs to be done. Surely it is it is conceivable, it is achievable to have a countrywide uprising. That is what we need. Having 1,000 people, 100,000 in Kampala is good, but it's not sufficient. So Museveni must understand that if he finishes the people in Kampala, there are others coming for him from every side of the country. So this can be done. I think we just need now to recalibrate our strategies and get back to the people, mobilize them. People have had enough. And I think even the army, it's fractured and it is fractured, and there are what is it called? There are gaps in the army. So there are cracks in the army. So I think let's not give up, but we need to do things differently. We need to be more radical, not necessarily violent, not necessarily, we can be militant, not necessarily violent, but it can be done. And I think now let's just get back to the drawing board, because this is the ultimate betrayal. It's like you've been in a bad marriage relationship, but now you realize that this marriage will never be salvaged. We must now have a complete divorce. And I think that is what we're heading for. So how we execute this divorce is the question on the table. Yes, Comrade New Western Canada chapter, please take the mic. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Joe, and all comrades who are here today to forge a way forward for our country, whatever is happening in the country. Yes, I've been here since you started this conversation. I've had so many of our comrades submitting on the same. I'll concur with some and differ with some. When we go back to 1995, when our so-called constitution was made, after rejecting the Odochi report and all others, Museveni was forging a way how he could manipulate the rest of the articles in the constitution, as he's doing. He's been doing this steadily ever since. To date, he's touching almost the final stages as he had calculated since. The question comes, yes, we've been trying to play around that we are playing within the constitution, which we don't have the constitution, but we knew we didn't have a constitution, but we wanted him to bust. And today is busting. He's showing upright that there is no constitution. He has a book that he's writing himself and his people. He writes in that book and he gives the orders to act on those orders. Are we really there to act on his orders? Does he have monopoly? And his people went to the bush. Do they have monopoly over everybody in the country? Or we shall keep silent and die in silence and die cowardly. I think this is the last button he has to place. This is the last button he has to place. To all Ugandans, fellow Ugandans, no matter where you come from, as long as you're Ugandan, This is a non-partisan war to liberate yourself. We have to look at things beyond our reach. I'm sorry, Mr. Joe, there are some people who are not muted. So what I'm saying is this. What I'm saying is this. I agree with two of our comrades, but Mr. Robert, I always agree with you, but I will tell you this. Our president has done a lot to sensitize the country, and the results we have seen. Some people can speak about politics very eloquently. They can see things that are happening beside them, like not before, like they have never done it before. Today, people are awakened. They can see things, but they cannot untie themselves from the net that have been surrounded on them by Dictator Museveni. The rest of the job is to show them how they can untie them from that net. They are seeing things, but they are seeing things within the net where they're wrapped in. We have to untie those nets around them, and then they can find a way to fight for themselves. You have put a question that what happened after the elections, because all we know that the people are going to stand up for themselves to fight and bring back their victory, but that didn't happen. What happened? That's the question you posed. What happened? We know. We have, as Ugandans, learn how to lead, not to follow who is leading. Because we always have to come in the shadows of others. We don't come as we. Ugandans, we have that tendency. Let somebody start. When are you going to start? Yourself. It's high time we think and think more. Because all these things are going to happen. We will never stop them. The only stoppage on these things is to remove that person that these things are serving. Let it bad laws, what, everything, they're serving that dictator. And they are doing them in his favor. That's why he buys them. Because he knows what he's buying. For these people who are bought, they don't know why they are bought, I can say. Or they're just foolish and stupid. They're selling their heart and their brain. They are doing all this in favor of that person and his family. And others act as if we are in a Chintu. What Chintu are you in? And tomorrow you are going to be kicked out and die like a snake. So, comrades, we as the Sporadian, we have the powers and we have all the power. Don't tell me you don't have the power unless you don't see it. If you believe in yourself, we have the powers and we can do something. Museveni can put his foot on the people on the ground, but he cannot put his foot on our neck and we'll keep quiet. We can tell our developing partners that if you have failed to do this amicably, we are going to threaten your interests. And this is how we are going to threaten them. Either you are with us or we get other development partners to come behind us and fight with us. We have to be blunt with them. Sometimes we have to be open. We have to be open and tell them, you know what? We have kept quiet for 40 years and you've been watching this. You've been leaping, our people are being buried. It's because of you. We have showed you everything, nothing you don't see, but you continue to reap on the expense of the blood of our people. We have to be open with them. Don't think they are not threatened. They get threatened. We have to tell them. Either they're with us or they depart with the old guy. They should know the old guy they are supporting has no future. The future is within the population of Uganda, which is young and which needs change today or never. Thank you very much, Joe.
Thank you. Thank you very much, comrade. Very good submission. But here's the thing, comrade. I think, yes, pressuring our host countries is a good strategy, and it's something we must take. But as I mentioned, we remade 2.5 billion US dollars. That is no mean sum. So we have a lot of leverage. So I think the first thing, let's start with you and me. Let's stop remitting money to Uganda. Let's stop investing in those. Let's defer all the projects that we've been undertaking, whether it's real estate, whether it's small, medium enterprises. Let's put those on hold. It is just a matter of time. Let's influence other investors who are. I mean, we can sanction them too. We can actually begin petitioning them. We can begin lobbying. This is something that we can do because this is going to depend on us. Do we have the will to see this through? Yes, if we're talking to the host countries, we have to negotiate, we have to pressure, we have to, but this is something that we can do. And this is something that I've spoken about in the past. But I think now the time has come really to execute this. Remittances must be suspended, withheld. Now the people on the ground, they must. And now when we give orders in inverted commas, then the people will listen. If they want freedom, if they want liberation, they have to do this by themselves. Otherwise, they're not going to get money. In any case, the regime is then criminalizing any relationship that is there. If they get money, the minister may withdraw or withhold the permission. They may be, and we're getting to a level where people are now going to be what? People are going to be, people are going to be criminalized simply because they are NUP or because they are opposition. That is where we're heading. It's just going to be that what you say, what you do, how you do it, who you relate to is going to be criminalized. So why don't the people rather, get on the streets and liberate themselves? I think that is now where that is the area of I think that is the area where we need now to focus and see how we can execute this. Yeah, but thank you very much for that submission, comrade. The next, sorry, just bear with me a bit. Trying to get my screen. Yes, the next, Everest, please unmute and speak to us. Thank you.
Thank you very much, members, for being there, and to see you, Joe, over there. You'll be patient with me. I have kids in the background. I can't put on the screen.
No problem.
I'm here fully and taking the pain we are going through. You'll appreciate this is not, would have not been the right place to discuss such impactful emotions we're going through. It's a challenge for us and for the country as a whole. But at the end of the day, we have to do the work, and the work has to be done. First and foremost, my brother and the members here, we have a challenge. And this challenge, I personally have been on it for the past over 25 years. I've been on this challenge. It is quite an extensive challenge where we have to carry all our brothers and sisters to see that we get Uganda as a whole. I've had some quite honest and challenging views in the background. What I would love to share with members here is that Uganda's today, it is in a challenge of the multinationals. These multinationals have taken us and the whole of that region. To some of you have been around for some time. In 96, 97, Bill Clinton visited Uganda. And the first statement he made is that Museveni, Kagame, and Zenawi, they are the new blue boys on the continent. To some people, it looked a simple statement, but this was a well-calculated move to put Museveni forward as the key arbiter on the minerals in that area. As we stand today, there is no neighboring country which can stand with us who are experiencing this pain. It's only individuals, where even if you go to Kenya, Tanzania, wherever, they have made it extra difficult. When Museveni was there, he was supported by the Rand Corporation. He had the oil in Hoima to give them, and it was just a decision who gives them the oil. Today they have everything. What that means is we to do the job. I've had one of my brother there who said that we are in a very deep situation where we can't get out. I would like to take him back to the Western countries here in Europe where we are. We had a guy by the name of Napoleon Bonaparte. This is a man who whipped 5 countries at a go. But one smart girl managed to get 2 countries from his grips without even one shot being fired. And the only thing she had to do is to capture Napoleon's mind. Today, who is Napoleon in our country? I think the Napoleon we have is to capture ourselves and Ugandans. I think our President Kyagulanyi has done quite a tremendous work. The only thing which is remaining for us is to organize and decisively get rid of the thing. How are we going to do it? There are means. The dictatorship or autocracy has a script. They follow that script, and other Machiavellian tendencies. They look at all these books to impose their autocratic or dictatorship. We also have people who have successfully brought down these autocratic regimes or dictatorships, more so like a fella like Mahatma Gandhi, and other revolutions like the Hungary Revolution, the one in Peru, and other countries. The only thing we need to do is to see how can we adapt these scripts to make sure we mobilize our people, ourselves, to do the necessary thing today. It may not even take where we are. We don't need even 2 or 3 months. If we are to mobilize seriously, vigorously, that regime will collapse. But because we find that we have been trained by the system of inequality which was introduced on that continent, that the only thing we can engage in is violence. But we can look beyond the violence because we want a stable country. We can get it. And it's we to get it. if we pick those rule books for bringing up these democratic peaceful means, we can do it in 2-3 months. The only thing is the process requires different approach, different organization, and we execute it. We can. If we believe in ourselves, our president has done quite an enormous job. Our other people were there before. They have really put a good foundation. We only need to finish it off. It may look a daunting task, but it's doable, and we can do it now. More so, the challenges which have been brought by the regime. It doesn't show that they are comfortable with what they are doing. They are really uncomfortable, but they want to get us in the corner where they know best. It's us to respond positively and knock them off the table. And we can do it. It's only that we, because we desiring, we are coming up with different views, which is fantastic. And I'm glad, Joe, you've chaired this meeting where we can share a variety of views and later on come up with what effectively we can do. We don't need to limit everyone. But this, to me, what I see is a battle of innovation, creativity, and imagination. We can get these people out even in the next 2-3 months. They can be out. But the organization we need is different from what is there. We need to set the narrative different from what is there. And all of us united, we can put up a formidable fight and we get our country into. Let us not be duped that there is nothing which can be done. If we can mobilize Ugandans tomorrow not to work, not to take their fuel, not to pay all the bills until we have our president in the seat, it can be done, and simple as that. But how the process to do it, that's what we can discuss here, and possibly tomorrow we set off and we see how far this regime can go without the cooperation of Ugandans. Thank you very much. Please, members, people power, our power, we can do it. Don't underestimate your efforts.
Thank you, Everest. Very good submission. Gives us some hope, because sometimes we get into despondency. People lose hope. But I think we look at all the positive things. We still have it. We still have what it takes to actually to address this problem, but even to address the elephant in the room. Just think, we're sitting over. We're sending home 2.5 billion US dollars. What needs to be done? I mean, we have the resources. I think we just now need to get down to a strategy and get serious about, because this is, as I said, this is an existential threat. It's about you. It's about posterity, your children, our children, and their children. This is, Museveni wants to decapitate them off the continent, the country. And I don't think we should allow that to happen. So now we are cornered. We must fight back. It's fight or flee. That is where we are. So we fight it, we flee. I think that is where we are. And I think really, let's get talking with this. If it was a bluff, I think they're going to realize this is a double-edged sword. It harms them, but it harms us, but it's going to harm them also. And maybe this is the bill that will ultimately get Museveni off our backs. Thank you. Let's take the next speaker, and that is Sarah Benice. Thank you. Over to you, Sarah. Sarah, are you able to unmute? Let me see.
Yes. Hi, Joe. Thank you so much. And thanks everybody who has been on the Zoom so far. That's okay. Um, I was listening in until Moji came on and got me all fired up. He said some really, really great points, and I would like to say that yeah, we all know that they are going to pass this bill. We can push back all we want, but by the time they bring such a thing out, you know they've already moved a few pieces ahead. I've always liked to use the term chess player. These people play a long game, and obviously this probably has been in their bag for some time. They've already positioned who is going to handle what, where, and how. And even before I go into that, he talked about of something very um, something so passionately, and that was education. I remember a few years back, about 8 to 10 years ago, a family friend happened to say that who had worked in the government said and worked like on a one-to-one basis with some of these families, said that at the time we were complaining of, oh, they took my land here, they took my land there. But he said that they are educating their people to a point that we'll get to some point that we will not even be able to get jobs. We'll get to a point whereby our people will be like, even at the time before, they were not educated, and we used to say atebasum and all that, but their children are educated. Their children have gone to good schools. Their children have graduated in different areas, and they're taking up the jobs. And that is obviously by design. If we're complaining then, and I remember that time they said, you're complaining now, wait years to come down the road, they are going to be everywhere, and they're going to merit to be in those positions. And we're already seeing that they are in every sector, and they have graduated, and they've got the masters, they've got everything. So you're going to take your child to school or you're going to go to uni and graduate and think, okay, this is going to be good enough. And this guy is going to come, they've had access to all the good education and resources. So away from that, back to the bill, the protection of the sovereignty bill. A few weeks ago, before it came out, we had the land amendment bill, and I was talking to someone from X, and this person said, "Oh, you know what? This land amendment bill is targeting mostly foreigners." And this person shared a book that has been written by Salim Saleh. And she was like, "Oh, shall we go through this book, and then maybe we can organize some spaces to come?" And as we're going through this and planning to start breaking down some of the things that are in the book that correspond with the land amendment bill, and believe me, I think some of you have seen that a couple of days ago when Monitor published a story that Salim Saleh has written a book. The land amendment bill derives from that book. That book was written a while back, and that book is about a vision they have that goes, I think it's Vision 2030 and all that. And that vision they have, they started working on it in 2013. So this is how far gone they are. For us to sit here and think, oh, we can put all the pressure we want, we can speak all the English we want, we can do whatever. They are determined because they know once they bring this bill, they bring the land amendment bill behind it, we are finished. We are finished. First of all, they're going for the foreigners. Before, when we saw that the land amendment bill, we thought it is going to be people abroad. But now you are already termed as a foreigner. It's going to be easier to get your land. It's going to be easier to cut you off from resources back home. So we go now back to elections. We've gone through 2 rounds of very, very mad elections, and we hoped and we wished and hoped and did everything within our powers that things would change. Things have not changed. I don't think things are going to change us taking that route. And if things are not going to change us taking that route, and so many things have happened in the recent past, so many things have happened that could have been triggers. And even before these triggers happened, first of all, where have we been? where we have been, maybe we had things were not as tight as they are right now. But guess what? Things are going to get even tighter years to come. By 2030, if anyone has a dream of, or will come back and stand in 2020, 2030, things are going to be tighter because every 5-year term, they come with a plan. Every 5-year term, they are tightening up. Every 5-year term, if we couldn't do it in 2021, it was harder in 2026. It's going to be even harder in 2031. So we cannot sit here and somebody wrote in the comment section, we are reluctant. Yes, we are. We cannot sit here and avoid the inevitable. If we really, really, really believe and know that we want change, we have to get radical. We have to get, I don't care. Somebody said, oh no, no, we have to get really radical because you know what? These people are shameless. If they were radical by going to the bush, they are even worse today. So we have to get even worse. The fact that the president of the Uganda Law Society does not even believe in the judicial system, who are we to think, oh, I'm taking this case to court, I'm going to contest such and such. Like, seriously? You're wasting your time and money. So the question is, instead of pushing the bill, which is a great thing that we're doing, how about we look at a long-term plan? A long-term plan that does not involve us chasing their tail. A long-term plan does not involve us running after the little, following their trail. Because if somebody says that they've put this bill out, to them, they're playing democracy. And they're like, yeah, we put it out there, we put it in we gazetted it and everything. And they've already determined that they're going to pass it. And we are wasting a lot of time and resources trying to stop it, knowing that chances are like very, very minimal that it will stop, because it is going to give them the leeway to then do the other things, then to take the land they've always wanted. Then you are going to be stateless. And of course, we can sit here and say, oh, but my constitution tells me to do this. The constitution tells me I'm a Ugandan by such and such. Yeah, we all know that. But what do we do? What do we do long term, starting today? And if nothing has joined us, if nothing has united us, this should unite us. This is beyond politics, ladies and gentlemen. This is our lives. This is our identity. Politics can come and go. There's parties like DP, which was like a long-standing party. Where is it today? It's gone. But what is not going to go is who I am. I am a Ugandan. I've got my ancestors in Uganda. How do I fight? If nothing else has ignited me to do something, this should unite us, and this should be the final nail in the coffin that is going to push us out there and go like, you know what? Forget everything else. Forget, oh, this person belongs to the yellow, to the blue party. This person belongs to... This right now is about our identity. It means that the minute you step out of that border, you lose your identity, you lose your everything. How do we reclaim our identities? How do we fight and reclaim our land back? With those few words, I beg to submit. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Sarah. You make it very clear. The ball is in our courts. How do we respond? And again, this is an existential threat. It means a whole annihilation of a generation and generations to come. So we're pushed in the corner. Do we flee? Do we fight back? How do we fight back? We have the resources. We just need to get down and do what we have to do. Yes, Dr. Nico, please, over to you. Thank you. Dr. Nico, take the mic. Thank you.
Sorry.
Yes.
Sorry for being... I was also on the TikTok live of Sarah Bariti. That is the reason, guys, why we're not having a lot of people here on this Zoom. Because
Okay.
at this very moment, Sarah Barite is also discussing the sovereignty bill. It's a very TikTok live. So I've been
Wow.
simultaneously been listening to you guys and to Sarah Barite.
Amazing.
Yeah, so my contribution. Yeah, I clearly hear from a lot of people that are talking the despair. And there's one important remark that I have to make. Ugandans are cowards. I'm unfortunate to say, but Ugandans are cowards. Yes, you are here. You are on the TikTok live of Sarah Barite. I hear people saying we should be more radical. But if I do a radical protest, no one shows up. I know, Joe and Robert, you guys went to demonstrate. Where were the other Swedish Ugandans, right? Where the...
You're muted, Nico. Nico, have you muted yourself?
Do I have to start again?
No, we hear you. We hear you.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So
it was just for a few seconds. So yeah.
Yeah.
Carry
So
on.
especially those people that I hear, we should take up arms. We have to get military. I suggest you go and get some practice somewhere, because at this moment, the level of people not even wanting to demonstrate are very little. So if you want to take up arms, go ahead. You are going to be killed. And actually, I don't want that. I don't want any Ugandan to get unnecessarily killed. No, I'm serious. I see King James laughing about my comment, but I'm really worried about this. The level of disorganization is bad for peaceful struggle, but it is also bad for the violent struggle. You understand? So people that are despair, yes, even me as a foreigner, I'm already a foreigner, I despair. But then let's start with radicalizing our peaceful protest, okay? And if we're able to do that, then maybe we do another step. Next Thursday, I'm going to the ICC. I only had one Dutch Ugandan telling me to join me. Really? Do we really want change? Or do we just want to join Zoom calls and TikTok lives? That is my contribution.
Thank you. And a valid point, Comrade Nico. Yes, we've not done the census, but we know that we are very good, reasonable numbers in Europe, in the diaspora. Yet some people have chosen actually to remain apathetic. There's a lot of apathy. They couldn't be bothered. They're on the fence, so to say. Yet the situation now calls for everyone to get on board. That political neutrality doesn't serve a purpose because it's not there. Everyone is under attack. So, we must get on board and we must do what has to be done. And it won't just be lip service. It has to be seen in action in terms of the demonstrations that we join, in terms of the social media activism that we engage in, and not just, again, making empty, promises, but really delivering on actionable points, things that have to be done to remove the dictator. So yes, ladies and gentlemen, let's do a bit of introspection and just see how we best carry this fight forward. Because if you don't fight, you die. This is it. You fight or you die. That is what it is. That is the ultimatum. So you fight or you die. We fight or we die. That is it. There's no middle ground. So either we fight or we die. That is it. But we know we can't fight. We know we have the means to fight. We have the resources to fight. It's just lacking the will to mobilize, to organize and deliver. So where do you stand and what needs to be done? Wako, Gerard, give us your take, please. Thank you. Wako, let me see. Okay. You're unmuted, comrade. Oops, that I did. Let me try again. Oh, comrade, I'm trying to unmute you. Let me see. Okay, comrade, if you're having issues, for some reason I'm not able to unmute you. King James, please take the mic. Okay, Wako has unmuted. Please take the mic. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I'm very sorry. I was trying to unmute myself, but it was difficult. Okay, thank you, Joe. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everyone, according to where you are. Thank you, Joe. I want to speak about an issue that affects not only our nation, but families, livelihood, and everyday survival. I am referring to the proposed sovereignty bill in Uganda and why it should concern all of us. At first, the word sovereignty sounds strong and positive. Every country has the right to govern itself and protect its independence, and that is true. But we must ask an important question: who is being protected and at what cost? Because this bill does not only just target foreign government or international organizations, but it goes more further. One of the most worrying part is how it defends a foreigner. Under this bill, you see that a Ugandan living abroad, our brothers, our sisters, parents, can be treated as a foreign actors, and those in Uganda treated as a foreign agent. And this has a real consequences. Let us talk about something very simple but very important: sending money back home. Many Ugandans living outside the country regularly send money to support their families. This money pays school fees, rent, food, medical care, and etc. This is not political. This is not foreign interference, but it is about love, responsibility, and survival. But under this bill, that the same support could be treated as a foreign funding. This means that people abroad may need government approval, registration before sending money. Families in Uganda may need authorization to receive it. Some may even need certificate just to legally accept support from their own relatives. Imagine that. A mother needing permission to receive money from her children, students' fees may delay because of paperwork, and family survival depends on government certificate. This is not just a policy; this is people's life, and
Jared,
more further.
Jared,
yes.
You're recounting the bill, and I think everyone is almost read it. I really am more interested in hearing solutions. What do you prescribe as a solution? What needs to be done?
Okay,
that is the crux of the matter. Thank you.
My solution. Thank you. What I can say, Joe, that we have been debating about the bills and we have seen how the parliament act. And these people are willing to bring more bills, more than even this one which we are debating today. But now we need to know, as Ugandan, to come to the table and we see that can we manage to reject this bill, or have we ever managed to reject any bill? So for me, what I can conclude is we must stand as Ugandan family. We must put down the fear which we have. Our president has done whatever he can, but even we Uganda, we are supposed to raise our voices and also to put these things into action. Let us put the fear aside, because we are not going just to talk. These people are willing to pass more bills, more than even this one, but we must stand firmly and we reject this bill. This bill can even act as an impact so that Ugandan can raise And we fight against it because we are fighting on this, but more are coming. So, but when are we going to stop this if we are just not putting these things into action? So for me, I'm calling my fellow Ugandans that let us do whatever we can. It is time to raise to fight against this. I was listening to some of the points people were raising about being radical. But if you look, that is the way to go. Because we are dealing in the government which is abnormal government, and we are not supposed to act in a normal situation. So we are also meant to do the same thing. If it needs to fight with them, let us face. That is what I can say, Joe. Thank you very much.
Thank you, comrade, for your submission. Yes. Let's take, ladies and gentlemen, we are drawing to a close. I think we shall be going for the next 30 minutes. So going forward, each speaker will be given 3 minutes. Please bear with us. Yeah. So King James, take the mic. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Joe, and all the comrades in this meeting. I think I'm unlucky that the new regulation started on me, and so I have some few seconds to make my submission. First, I want to associate myself with people who believe that we must formulate new strategies in this time. I think that is from Muji Martin. We think like with many other people who think like Muji Martin, like we need to do things that we have not done before, and being radical is one of the way. And being radical actually doesn't mean to pick guns, but we have not been radical in our campaigns. We have been too casual, usual, and predictable. These are things that the regime is used to, and we always don't think outside the box. When we talk of the protests, those are the usual protests. When we talk of social media campaigns, those are the usual social media campaigns. When we talk about rejecting the bill in parliament, these are the usual, let's go and then get out of parliament. So like we have not done anything. And it's like as if we have exhausted them. But the way human beings were created, we are created with ability to always get solutions in difficult situations. Like we are in a situation today, having sovereignty bill. What is the way forward? What is the better way? And those of you that were in my space, Joe, I think you are there also. I just hinted on something that's so important, which I cannot explain here in the 3 minutes. But everyone from Muji Martin to the last speaker, they agree that sovereignty bill can be probably a spark to the end of the Museveni's regime. And we have seen so many regimes that fall with either new regulations or rules. And so if we are intentional on the things that we are doing, I think we can use this sovereignty bill. We have the ideas, we have the Ugandans who are willing, we have people who have platforms, we have everything that we need. It is just that we don't want to give it a shot. We can even decide. Because Joe, you mentioned that you may tell people to stop sending money to their family members in Uganda. That's not enough. It may not have an impact on the general population. But the largest population that uses that impacts Ugandans are in Uganda. The largest population are the Ugandans on ground who have 10 million, 5 million 500,000, 100,000 in the banks. So if you want to start that, then you generalize it, that we are not sending money to the family members because we don't trust the banks. And so Ugandans who have money in the banks must withdraw their money and keep it in their hands. By that, someone said, we can even remove the government in 3 weeks. But by that, within three months, you have managed to break the system. You have managed to break the government. The government becomes poor. The government becomes helpless. And I'm telling you, with such a big campaign like that,
As you
with
conclude,
intention,
Comrade James, thank you very much.
yes, please. With clear intentions, the regime will just fall. So let's be intentional from today, and now create platforms to seek for solutions. And I'm happy that you told the previous comrade to give solutions, because like we know everything, but we need solutions. Thank you.
Thank you, Comrade. That is a brilliant proposal. As a matter of fact, yes, that would cripple the economy, the regime, and exactly. We are now, this regime is going. I mean, the bill is going to be passed, but now ours has to be a long-term kind of strategy, and where it's all inclusive, people on the ground, people abroad, but also people across the country. And I think that is one of the methods that would truly work in a matter of months. Thank you very much. Comrade Mugisha, please take the mic. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. I'll first complain. You give me 3 minutes every time you find me. But
not personal, Comrade.
but remember, I was a panelist.